What about tech debt? That always comes up as a tension between product engineers.
Yeah. I think tech debt is more like a mortgage than credit card debt, right? So I think it's usually talked about as like, we've got this tech debt. Like, when are we going to pay it down?
Yep.
You get a mortgage for a house.
Yeah.
You know it's going to take you 30 years.
Yep.
But more importantly, you're happy to have a mortgage that you're paying. I'm paying at 2.65% on a mortgage right now. I love having a mortgage.
Yeah.
All right. So thinking about a product.
Yeah.
If it's a product that has no external validation and you're perfecting every little piece and you're taking an extra 6 months, you just bought it in cash.
Yeah.
You could have been mortgaging it. So put out something that you can still be proud of. You don't have to put out something that you're like embarrassed for. You can still be proud of because it works well for the user.
Yep.
But it might not have the best technical backend. When we built Silver, we did the backend initially with Google Firebase and Firestore. Terrible long term, right? Like we had moved to a relational database, but at the time it would made us iterate very quickly, and we were changing screens day after day. Then you get to the point where you know what parts of the product are going to stick around. So there's a couple flows in our product that they never got used. There's other things that worked is always there. Those ones you want to really harden because that's going to slow you down over time. You don't want to be constantly fixing issues in the main core part of your app.
I really like the mortgage analogy.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think the way to think about this is if you don't take a mortgage, you essentially live in a smaller house.
Yep.
Right? So you want a mortgage.
Yeah.
You want to pay for it constantly. And you probably want to refi as well.
Yeah.
There's a concept of refi, which is like you're constantly adding debt, but paying some other debt like in parallel.
Right.
Because you don't want to get to a point where the entire house is yours.
Yeah.
It's meant you lost an opportunity to leverage and to move faster into a larger house potentially. When you come to developers, or maybe like share like some of my experience here, many often like you go to a developer and say, there's a bug here, like let's fix this bug.
Yeah.
And the reply is like, why fix this bug and just rewrite it from scratch? All right, that's like because it said that code was written like 10 years ago. It's gonna take me forever, and no one tests it, no one knows it. Believe me, right? That writing it from scratch is going to be way cheaper than fixing the bug.
Yeah,
I heard it.
I've heard that so many
hundreds of times. Yeah,
writing something from scratch is never cheaper than fixing one bug.
Yeah,
at least in my experience.
Yeah, never saw it.
Thousands of
in my
times.
lifetime. Yeah,
It's usually, and if you press on someone else, they'll say, okay, yeah, it's not going to be cheaper this first time, but when I go to fix the next bug, it will be cheaper.
Yep.